Hey guys, Satoshi here. Like, share, and subscribe for more great Cobra Kai videos. Be sure to turn on notifications to never miss another Cobra Kai video ever again whenever we put a new one out. Help get this video to 100 likes if you'd like us to continue putting out more Cobra Kai videos like this one. And of course, please share this video on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and other social media platforms to help both new and old Cobra Kai fans find these videos so they can enjoy them and relive them and the glory days of Karate Kid. And now let's begin. So the topic of today's video is one that I think a lot of people are are going to look forward to, and that is basically fans have voted if Sam is really the villain in a Cobra Kai poll that we posted. And we're going to be looking at the poll. We're going to break down the poll, and we're going to see what people actually think of Samantha LaRusso. So the poll actually got thousands of votes. I did a video similar to this earlier today where I talked about Dimitri and what people thought of him and if he was really the villain or the worst, if he was actually the worst character in Cobra Kai. And I had done this poll a little while before that one. And I'm going to be reviewing the results now for that poll. And we're going to see exactly what people really think of Sam. Let me do some quick shout outs because there's like a new crew developing here. Ryan Kupulsakar says, hey, start. Okay, I did. Damien says, hi. What's up, Damien? Dr. Brick says, hi. How's it going, man? What's up? What's up, bro? And let's see here. Brock York says, hi. Shout out to Brock York. Kai says something in the chat regarding Sam. I agree. She's not the nicest of people. Mustang says hello. And Mustang also says, what poll? Yeah, so the poll, like I said, is a poll that we ran where we basically break down, we asked fans to vote if Sam was really the villain or not. And basically, a lot of fans actually did vote. And we're going to be looking at the poll and seeing what people actually think in regards to Sam being the actual villain in Cobra Kai. So let me see if I can get the poll on the screen for you guys. There it is. And it basically asks, there are so many people who still evidently support Samantha LaRusso and who do not see her as a villain. This is what it says in the poll. While there are also many people that see Sam as a villain. In today's poll, please tell us if you think Sam is the real villain or the real hero of the Cobra Kai series. And check out our full breakdown video, Sam is not a hero, linked here to learn more about why we think Sam is not a hero. Okay, and you get the gist of it. So looking at the poll, we had 3.2 thousand votes from supposedly Cobra Kai fans. This was posted on my channel. And the results are pretty unbelievable. So, well, I shouldn't say unbelievable. So this is where things get kind of crazy. All right. So Sam is really a villain. 55% of people who voted in this poll basically said that Sam really is a villain. 3% said Sam is a hero. So this is where it gets crazy. Only 3%, guys, only 3% of people think that Sam is a hero. Only 3%. I mean, like, seriously, when only 3% of people think, like, Sam is like, guys, 3%. 3%, okay? 3%, only 3% that think that Sam is a hero. So, guys, Sam does not have as much support as we would like to say. I remember there was a guy who posted something in the comments like a few days ago that saying that he simps for Sam. And, guys, I gotta say, for 3%, when only 3% say Sam is really a hero, only 3% of people think Sam's really a hero. 3%. 55% think that Sam is really a villain. Sam is really a villain. 55% think that. And then 30% think that Sam is neither a villain nor a hero. So there are some people who I've seen comments from that say, she's a teenager going through life and struggling. But maybe that's where those people fall in. But even those people aren't calling her a hero. So in terms of people who are drawing a line in the sand, only 30%, only even 30% of people are saying, Sam is neither a hero, neither a villain nor a hero. And for people drawing a line in the sand and saying either she is or isn't a villain, Only 3% of people think that she actually is a hero. I mean, unbelievable. And then we had another comment that I added in there. I honestly don't care and just want to watch this series in peace. So about 9% of people don't want to be involved. Almost 10% of people watching Cobra Kai don't want to even be involved in the drama. They just want to watch their Cobra Kai in peace, live their lives, and that's it. So like almost 10%, 9% of people don't want to get it, don't want to be involved in the drama at all. They just want to live their lives, watch the series in peace. Like there's always those people, you know. I just want to watch my Cobra Kai, go to sleep, you know, go come home, watch some Cobra Kai, take care of my business. That's it. I don't want the arguments. I don't want the infighting. I don't want to hear any of that. I'm not here for any of that. I'm just here to watch Cobra Kai, and that's it. And you know what? I can respect. I can respect that. I can respect that. It's so insane that sometimes when this really shows why it's important to give people options and not just to say something like, because I could have made this poll just like, is Sam really the villain or is she a hero? And, you know, that would have forced people into like confines where they could not really choose. But when you give people options, it's unbelievable how people will choose. Like, for example, Sam is neither a villain nor a hero. That was such an important question. So I realized like it's so important to give people options when you make these polls so that you can at least see different viewpoints. And then I also tossed in this one, someone just noticed me. 2% of people just voted. Evidently, I mean, and maybe they did it comically, or maybe not, just for the sake of being noticed, which is interesting. So like there's a bunch of people there's like 2% of people who did not want to choose any of the others, or maybe they didn't care for the poll, but they still wanted to like vote in it. And I like that. I literally like that because you can basically find the outliers, the people who really just don't care one way or another. And you can find those people. And you know, and I think that's a really good thing. Let me read some of the comments. Let's go back and read some of these comments now from some of you guys. See what you guys are saying. You guys are having fun you guys are really having fun in the chat. I have to basically look at your comments quickly because sometimes I want to make sure that we avoid profanity on the channel and so forth. Juju says, I love this. Let me put this right here. Okay, and 1M Neon. I'm beginning to recognize names. I'm really beginning to enjoy doing these podcasts. And guys, if you guys enjoy the podcast, definitely drop a super chat. You know, if you want me to keep on doing these, if you want to help contribute so that I can keep putting them out on a regular basis. 1MK says, Sam is the bad person, not a villain. You shouldn't put Sam in you should have put Sam is the bad person. She is a bad person. And I think that in that way, like, it depends on what you call a villain. And I do think that she is a villain in many ways. I've said this before, like, Tori is a bad girl, but not a bad person. Sam is not a bad girl, but she is a bad person. And it's so funny because it's always the people calling everyone else bad, you know, like calling everyone else bad, who are really the bad people. Sam, let me tell you something. For many years, people considered me a villain. And I'll tell you why. Because before I began making Cobra Kai content, focused on Cobra Kai content, I was in another community. And the funny thing is that a lot of people wanted to say, like, I was a villain. I basically said, yeah, I'm a villain. I'm a villain because people are always looking for someone else to blame. And everyone else thinks that they're always virtuous. It's always the people calling everyone else bad that are the ones who are often the ones that are most critical and often the ones that are most judgmental. And it's honestly true. Kai says Tori is better than Sam. And it's like, I can see areas where, you know, like, there's a lot of things I like about Tori. And I'm just going to be honest. Mustang says Kreese is the villain. And I don't really truly believe Kreese is the villain. I don't believe Kreese is the good guy, but I don't think he's the villain. And I want you to think about it very carefully about Kreese. You know, it's interesting how we can all insult someone like Kreese, but then when we need someone like Kreese, we're all like, we're like, all like USA. Like, you know, we all want to hear, like, think about it carefully. We all want to, like, everyone wants to, like, insult John Kreese and say John Kreese is a villain. But when you need someone that's tough, someone that doesn't back down, someone that, someone that says, it's this way or the highway. Look at what happened in the original Karate Kid film. People want to act like John Kreese is the villain when he told Johnny to sweep the leg, but then look at that whole crane kick thing that that Daniel used in the original Karate Kid film, which was a totally illegal move. All right, like where the heck does that come? A crane kick? He could have taken. I mean, what could he could have done some serious damage to Johnny. He could have kicked him in the eye. He could have done some serious damage to him with that illegal move. And I mean, again, you can say that I'm grasping at straws at this moment, but I'm being honest. Like this whole crane kick thing. I honestly think, and I'm just pulling it out here right now, that John Kreese, he saw the kind of person that Miyagi was. Miyagi was not this perfect individual like everyone wants everyone else to believe. Like Miyagi was like a saint. Miyagi didn't even say he was a saint. You have to realize that within all of us, we have yin and yang, good and bad. And Mr. Miyagi, while I like Mr. Miyagi, I love Mr. Miyagi. Mr. Miyagi, I realized, was also selfish in some ways. Like everything that Mr. Miyagi did was out of the goodness of his own heart. I don't necessarily know that. All right. People can do good things because they care about others, but people will always do what's in their own best interest. Something that I was taught, and it's true. All right. Even when people are doing self-destructive things, in many cases, they still think that they're doing things within their own best interest based on their experiences in life. Lextron 5000 says, she is in the middle. I think she can redeem herself. I think she can too. And I hope she does. If she changes, like literally tries to be first off admits that the world doesn't revolve around her. She is not Little Miss Perfect. I mean, in one of the episodes of season 3, if I recall, one of the names of the episodes is Little Miss Perfect. I mean, I wonder who that refers to. To Tori? No, I think that refers to Sam. Little Miss Perfect. That might be like episode 2. If I get a chance, I might go through some of the names if I can find them again, like the script names for the different names for the different episodes coming up in season 3. I don't know why I didn't review the ones I had, but that might be something I do for you guys. Let me read this comment from you guys. Please remember guys, if you want me to read your comment, please remember to not use profanity, because you know how it is on YouTube. YouTube is very, very icky about that. So please try not to use profanity use profanity if you want me to read your comment. Otherwise, then I kind of have to reword it a bit, but I can't show it on screen. So if you want your comment to get shown on the screen, please you can say what you want, but please leave out profanity if you want me to put it on the screen. Orion says, she is neither hero nor villain, but she is to blame for pretty much everything. She kickstarts every fight. The real villain is Kreese, and the puppet master is Terry Silver. I don't know, guys. I'll tell you something funny. I watched Karate Kid 1. I saw that film. It's been a long time. I need to rewatch it. Karate Kid 2, I don't remember a lot from it. It's like I've seen bits and pieces. And then Karate Kid 3, I don't even know if I saw Karate Kid 3. I'm going to be honest with you. Like, what the heck? Again, it was like the first film for me was like everything. And then there was some in the second film. Those were hard days, man. Those were hard days. But I will say that when it comes to the villain, again, I still like Kreese. I respect Kreese. I don't like the fact that he lies. But at the same time, when you look around, I want you to say, Miyagi doesn't lie. You mean how he lied his way into the tournament or stretched the truth? Daniel is a part of Miyagi-Do, Oh, Daniel is a black belt. I mean, God, come on. Guys, here's the thing about martial arts. If there's any of you watching martial arts, I'm thinking there's a reason why there are ground rules established. For example, you enter a karate tournament, you're going to act, you're probably going to know rules and regulations and certain other things. When it came to Daniel, he just went into the tournament and did whatever he wanted. He could have actually done some serious harm to someone or gotten really damaged himself, which he actually did end up getting damaged pretty badly. Let me put it here. All right, this is another comment. Okay, John Daverson says, No Sam's better than Tori. Miguel is better than Robbie. Johnny and Daniel are the same. You know what's interesting? So this is like an account that says follow my Instagram, John. And this is like, guys, this is so incredible. Insane. Like I've seen accounts like this before where like the account is literally designed only to like, get people to like subscribe to their channel or like follow them. And then like you'll see but the funny thing is you'll see an actual comment from this person, which is insane. Like the same people, like guys, like even spammers love Cobra Kai. Like guys, like I can put it out. Like even spammers love Cobra Kai. Like like they're out there spamming. They're taking like they're spamming. But like they take some time out for Cobra Kai, man. Like no. I gotta take some time. Like guys, I've seen this so many times where like you have these accounts that are literally you can just see from like the name. It's like a spam account. But then like you look at the comment and they leave a real critical comment. Now sometimes what they do is they change, like they'll leave a good comment and they change the comment later on to like redirect to their channel. But like here we're actually just like looking at the comments and you can see like the person is engaged. Like no Sam's better than Tori. Like you can see the person is actually engaged. So it's insane. So like even when you're dealing with spammers even spammers take time out for Cobra Kai. Even spammers take some time out for Cobra Kai. They're like, nah, man, I gotta take some time out for this. Kai says Sam's a jerk. Yeah, I changed the word, but we get what you mean, bro. Ryan says, even though she is so selfish, let me put this. Okay, so we can put this comment on screen. Even though she is so selfish, I can't stop rooting for her and Miguel. Robbie is just so annoying. He is annoying, and I don't know what else to say. Follow said, okay. John says some will have a redemption, but Hawk will turn bad. I hope Hawk has a redemption, but it's hard at this point. Hawk is definitely like after what happened to Miguel and all the pain and suffering he's gone through in life. Hawk has gone through, and just basically questioning himself. I hope that Hawk can find his way back, and I hope that maybe through Moon or someone else he can start to heal because Hawk really had a rough ride. And then when you have Dimitri trying to drag him back down into the pits with him, it's terrible. It's terrible. I think this is like I like what John says here. It's so funny. John has some real good comments. Sam is like Ali. They're fighting over a girl. It's true, but and it's so funny because like in come Karate Kid 2, Ali dumps then Ali she drives Daniel's car and then she like dumps him afterwards. After acting like she's like there for him, like what the heck? Let me put this right here. Tanura Ravindra says, I think Sam is just a result of her following her dad's mentality of Cobra Kai bad. I honestly believe that too. I truly do, and I really want Amanda to step up more and take a more meaningful role in raising her children, and teaching them responsibility. Because look at Daniel. He had like Sam and Robbie living together, and when it came down to when Amanda says I think it was Amanda who said they've been living together for all this time, and what do you think was going to happen? And Daniel's basically like, I don't want to deal with that right now. So let's say Sam and Robbie have been in having more of a relationship than just kissing, but he doesn't care. Nope, Daniel doesn't want to hear about it. He doesn't even care what happens under his roof as long as he doesn't have to see it or hear about it. Mustang actually listed his 5. Okay, so let's read this one. There's actually 26 people watching right now, which is crazy. He says, Mustang, I assume it's a guy, says, my top 5 Cobra Kai worst characters are Yasmin, Sam, Robbie's mom. She is terrible. Louis LaRusso. Louis LaRusso? Who is Louis? Oh, maybe do you mean Anthony? Is it Anthony LaRusso? Louis or Louis or I thought Daniel's son was named Anthony, but Louis LaRusso. Who the heck is Louis LaRusso? Or is that the guy who works at the car dealership with him? Who plays Louis? I'm trying to figure that out. Like, who the heck is Louis LaRusso? Louis LaRusso, frequently called Louis, is the cousin of Daniel. Okay, he's the cousin of Daniel LaRusso. Okay, yeah, I got you. He's Daniel. I didn't even pay attention to that. I didn't even pay attention. He's in his late 40s, early 50s. And let me see here. And he's a supporting character and minor villain minor villain in the first season of the TV series Cobra Kai. So guys, they even list him as a minor villain. I'm looking on I'm looking at the Karate Kid wiki, and it says and it says he's listed as a minor villain. A minor villain. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I don't even remember that guy too well, but yeah. Will Miguel and Robbie become friends? I don't know, and it's hard to say. But the thing is, they're already brothers. Like you got to be kidding me. Like I mean, Miguel is Johnny's son. He loves Miguel above. He loves Miguel to death. He loves Miguel. He loves Carmen. I mean, think about it. He loves Miguel and he loves Carmen. Carmen's like the woman of his dreams, you know? So to say so Miguel is his son. So they're already brothers. Now, if they can recover from what happened, I don't know. But hopefully I'm hoping that Miguel will wake up and he doesn't go total dark side. Like he doesn't go total Darth Vader, you know? That's what I'm hoping for. Richard Palotto says, I know Kreese has his flaws, but the man is a is a war hero, and I have nothing but respect for him. And that I mean, like, and maybe he fudged some of his war stories, but it really appears that he did fight. I mean, guys, here's the thing: everyone wants to bash on a guy like John Kreese, and then a war breaks out, or something bad happens, and you need a guy like John Kreese, and then everyone's like, "Yeah, Kreese! Yeah, Kreese!" I'm telling guys, the very moment you need someone like Kreese who is not bending, who will basically will not bend a knee to the enemy. All right, then suddenly he's the hero. All right. That's when he's the hero. People don't want to hear any more about this no mercy from Johnny, all right? They want to hear Kreese. Guys, because when you're in war, what do you expect? And you can't blame Kreese. I mean, think about it carefully. Kreese is the villain, but if Miguel had not shown mercy, he probably would not be in the situation he's in today. Think about this, guys, carefully. If Miguel had not shown mercy, and when we say don't no mercy, we're not talking about about taking things to the next level in the sense of Miguel would have done something where Robbie would have been out the game forever. No, but if he had finished the fight, if he had defeated Robbie right then and there, Robbie likely wouldn't be heading to jail right now. Okay. Robbie likely would not be heading to jail right now. Think about it carefully. Miguel would not be in the hospital fighting for his life. Okay? So, I mean, I'm just being honest. Think about it. If you had finished the fight, if you start something, you need to finish it. When I was in school many years ago, this was like maybe over 20 years ago, I'm thinking at this point, because I'm almost 40, I'm 37. And this was over 20 years ago. When I was in middle school, I had a teacher, and I grew up in New York. And in New York, those were tough times back in those days. And I had a teacher that said that if you guys think you're tough enough to, basically, I'll paraphrase it, and I won't say exactly what he said, but he said basically, if you guys are tough enough to start something, finish it. I don't want any of this. You guys are like, you go out there and you start something, and then you have the guy walking around like, okay, I'm just going to let him go and everything's going to be all right. No. If you are tough enough to start something, you need to finish it. And the student, he says, do you know why I say that? And a student like raised their hand and they said, because if you don't, then they'll come back for you. Exactly. They'll come back looking for you later on. So you finish it right then and there. I'm telling y'all, like, a lot of y'all are so young. Some of y'all are young, but those of you that are adults listening to this, that grew up in the 80s and the early 90s, and you remember like hard economic times, like, right now where the world is going through some hard times, but if for those of us that are older, that are in our 30s and even 40s and 50s, we remember some of the truly horrific times that we've passed through in life, especially in the 80s and 90s. There were some real bad things happening, especially in the big cities, right? And, it's funny because you look at characters like Sam and characters like Dimitri, and you realize these people, they're not the nicest people. They're not the nicest people, These are the types of people that pretend to be your friend, but they're never really your friend. I mean, Sam was never really Aisha's friend. You want to say that Sam was her friend? As soon as As soon as the cool kids picked up on Sam, but they were like, "Oh, we're not so cool with Aisha." Well, what do you expect? Sam basically dropped her and basically watched her suffer and be alienated by these people. But Sam's not the villain. Come on. All right, Sam was never Aisha's friend. A friend would never treat you like that. Heck, I don't think even Moon would treat Aisha like that. I don't think Moon and Aisha were friends in the beginning. And look at what happened with Moon. Moon quickly turned around afterwards and said to Yasmin, "No, what we did was wrong. You need to." She says, "I apologize to her." I think something like "I apologize to her, and you need to apologize to her too." All right, and she said that outright to Moon. She stood up to her. Okay. And the funny thing is, like, where was Sam in this moment? Sam's basically there, like, well, I mean, Sam basically continues on, like, oh, like, I mean, I didn't actually do it. I wasn't a part of it, you know. I mean, wait, you were hanging out with these girls. You watched as they were doing this to your friend, and now you don't even have the courage or the dignity to turn around and say, you know what, I was wrong too. I don't remember her like giving Aisha a real apology. I mean, like, seriously. This is the type of person Sam is. All right? And you know, it's like she's the type of person that maybe she doesn't lie outright, but she's the type of person that will remain silent, and silence is compliance. And people don't want to admit to it. This is something someone put in my comment, but it's true. Silence is compliance. Just like when she was in the car with Yasmin and she saw the crash and she chose to tell no one. Doesn't matter if Yasmin begged her not to or not. All right? They were in a hit and run accident. The fact of the matter is, silence is compliance. And if a police officer was investigated, if it was investigated by the police, she would likely have been charged alongside everyone else, unless her daddy, Daniel LaRusso, paid some money, which he probably would have, or, you know, hired an expensive attorney, and basically, oh, my poor baby girl, she was just there, she was scared because she could never do any wrong. She never, you know, I mean, she was just there, but she didn't do anything. Come on. Let me read this comment right here from 1M. 1M Neon says, "Why would the referee allow that illegal kick? But the writers messed that up. So I want to see, like, sweep the leg when Daniel mocks on Johnny." I mean, it's like, you know, the reason why. So Chris, the actor Martin Cove, he actually talked about this in an interview not too long ago, and he said that, you know, he said, one, John Kreese doesn't think he's a bad guy, and they asked about the whole sweep the leg thing. Well, no, let me correct myself. The crane kick, and they said, you know, he said that it was an illegal move. So why did it happen? And he said that it's because of Hollywood. He said Hollywood, you know, Hollywood wants to make money. They did it for the view. They did it for the movie, you know, but it was an illegal thing. He should have been, you know, called out on it. And what's interesting is the referee in the movie that called that, if I remember, I think it might actually be a real referee in real life. Like the guy who actually allowed Daniel to get away with that bad kick, I think was actually a real martial arts referee in real life, and he allowed that. I mean, like, but it was all Hollywood. And forgive me if I'm wrong on that, but that's something I think I may have heard a while ago. But that was a total illegal move. And Martin Cove, he basically said the right thing. And he talked about, you know, John Kreese being the villain. And he says that Kreese doesn't think he's the villain, if I remember. He says that Kreese thinks that he's actually a good guy because he looks at the situation and he believes that what he's doing is actually right, you know? So, and like I said, everyone wants to call someone like John Kreese, like, you know, when John Kreese was overseas defending the country, fighting to ensure that we would have our civil liberties so that people like Samantha LaRusso could continue going on and acting unaccountable for everything that they do, you know, no one was complaining. Like, when people like John Kreese are fighting for our freedom, no one cared. Like, oh, they're heroes. But during peaceful times, you know, when there's no more fighting and everyone's like, oh, everything's fine, then they're the villains. You've got to be kidding me. All right. I tell you guys, like, if we were in hostile times right now and you need someone like John Kreese that's going to step up and going to be brave and going to put themselves out there and going to fight for others and basically without, you know, basically with that philosophy, no mercy. I'm fighting to protect my people, to protect the people that I care about, the people that I love. Okay, all of a sudden he's a hero. But when you don't have that war, you know, suddenly he's a villain. Let me tell you guys something. Life is war. Life is one continuous struggle. We are fighting for our survival each and every single day. We absolutely are. We are fighting for survival each and every single day. And to say that like, you know, John Kreese is wrong, I disagree. I don't approve of everything Kreese has done. I admit he's absolutely manipulative. He's not the perfect character, but I still believe that in his heart, he doesn't believe what he's doing is entirely wrong. Of course, he has to know that, like, for example, you know, he manipulated his way back into Johnny's life. He has to know these things, and there are many flaws of John Kreese, and there are many things that he's done that makes him a snake. But let me make this clear: John Kreese is not the outright definitive villain, because when you need someone like John Kreese, suddenly he's the hero. All right, you know, during peaceful times, everyone wants to act like Miyagi. But here's the thing: Miyagi was like is a decorated war hero. Like, wake up! Miyagi's a decorated war hero. Okay. He is a decorated war hero. So everyone's trying to act like Miyagi is like so virtuous. He's a decorated war hero. Oh, well, he did good things, and he did good things when he was overseas. Come on. No one is all good and no one is all bad. Please use your heads. All right? I mean, I like the comment from King. I like the way King puts it right here. Sam only trained in Miyagi-Do because she wanted revenge on Tori, because she falsely accused Tori of stealing it with no proof. Yeah, she falsely accused Tori of stealing her purse with no proof. Tori pushed her away. All right, and Tori was clearly surprised when Sam fell into the food. She just didn't want to give her purse. Like, who's Sam to like try to take Tori's purse? And the irony is that after Sam clearly has to know that Tori was not the actual thief, does Sam apologize for what she did? Nope. She starts training in martial arts at Miyagi-Do so that she can get revenge. I mean, it's the exact same thing that Daniel did in the very first Karate Kid series. All right? I mean, in the very first Karate Kid movie. He gets the boombox back. You know, Johnny, like, fine, take it. And pushes him, but he has it. He's not injured, and he could have just walked away. He could have said, "Allie, you know what? This guy's a jerk. All right, here's your boombox. Don't even worry about him. All right," and that would have been it. But what does he do? He then tries to fight him. He's like, "Oh yeah, you want to fight? You want to fight?" And then he comes at Johnny as though Johnny's not supposed to defend himself. And then even when Johnny does defend himself, he doesn't even do it in such a way that Daniel is like left severely injured. He just defends himself. And he's standing up for himself, but I mean, come on. You know? Like, that's the exact same thing that happened here. He tries, like, you know, Samantha tried to make Tori out to be a villain, all right? Tried to go for something that wasn't hers. And then like, you know, and then when she's rebuffed and no serious harm done. Yeah, she fell in food, but that was her fault. Okay? She was like trying to take Tori's purse. And what does she do? She doesn't apologize for what she did. She doesn't say, "I'm sorry." What she actually does is then she goes out and then tries to learn and starts training in martial arts again after she had abandoned it more or less, because she didn't want to really do any more martial arts. All right. She had been training with Daniel when she was younger, evidently, but then she stopped because she, you know, lost interest. But as soon as she runs into Tori, she's like, "Nope, I got to start training again. I got to start training hard again just to get revenge. And the funny thing is, Tori wasn't like looking for revenge constantly on Sam, but she was constantly wary of Sam because she knew Sam was always going up against her. And I'm not justifying anything Tori has done. That fight in the school, Tori should be in jail for it. You know, Tori went after Sam with she used a bracelet in a very bad way. And what she did was absolutely wrong. And she definitely should have been arrested for that. She definitely should be held responsible for that. But let me make it clear. Talking about what led to all of this happening, Samantha. All right? And it's funny because people like her go through life creating all these problems. And because of the way that they create these problems, they are never held accountable by society. So someone like Tori goes to jail. Someone like Robbie, you know, Robbie ends up going to jail. And don't get me wrong. What Robbie did with Miguel was terrible. But at the same time, you look at who his teacher is, you know? I mean, if this had happened to Robbie, if this had been Daniel and Miguel Daniel and Miyagi. Miyagi would have been at the jail like quickly. Miyagi might have even put up his house to get Daniel out of jail to raise bail money. I mean, let's be honest. I want you guys to be honest. How far do you think Miyagi would have gone to help Daniel if something like this happened? But what does Daniel do? He closes down Miyagi-Do and basically wants to wash his hands more or less entirely of Robbie. Like, he looks at, like, he goes into the room and he sees something that belonged to Robbie where he was staying in the guest house. I mean, come on. I feel sorry for Robbie in the sense that there was a point where Robbie was trying to change. I really think, but Robbie needs a better teacher. He needs a much better teacher, and he needs to learn. He really needs work on his character as a person. And being with the LaRussos, terrible. King says, yeah, Sam is the villain. Let me see. You guys are loving this. I don't know why Hannah Volliger always says, hi, this is Hannah Volliger. I don't know why you announce yourself always as in that way. Jay says, yeah, but Sam started training in Miyagi-Do way before she met Tori because she started episode 2. She started training no. She started training after she got serious. She got serious about training. So to my recollection, she started training after, but maybe it wasn't. But she started training seriously again after the whole thing happened because she wanted revenge. All right, let's not fool ourselves. She wanted to get back at Tori. All right. Mustang says 100% Cobra Kai. There we go. Claudia says she is a bad guy. Thank you. We don't need to defend her. She is absolutely a bad guy. Jose says Sam's not a good person. I changed the word there, but yeah. I want Sam to be a hero, not a villain to get revenge on Tori. She really is a villain. Super says, but Tori did go after Sam with the spike bracelet. Doesn't that make Tori the villain? That makes Tori the bad girl. And I think Tori is not the villain because she's not constantly trying to do bad things. Think about this. She works hard. Her mother, she doesn't have a lot of money, evidently, so she works. She pays. I don't think she's going to Cobra Kai for free. So she's paying money to go to Cobra Kai. She's working a part-time job, supposedly a part-time job. So she has extra money to live, to eat, to survive. Come on. Even after Sam broke Miguel's heart, she was there and she basically spoke to Miguel and she appealed to him like, listen, man, don't even do this. Don't stop mourning over her. And the thing is that even though she saw what Sam had done, what Miguel was making for Sam, she looked at it and I think she felt like, wow, I wish a guy would do something like that for me. All right? Think about that very carefully. She saw the goodness inside of Miguel even when no one else did. Guys, we have 42 people watching right now. 42 people. I'm literally in shock. Wow, 42 people. General Awesome says, Johnny is the greatest of all time. Dimitri, the follower says, Dimitri is not a villain. He's definitely not a good guy. All right. Jose says 48 people, guys. We've got 48 people watching. 48. Oh my gosh. Thank you guys so much. 48 of you guys are watching. I am so happy. Jose says, gotta remember, Tori had a way tougher upbringing than rich girl Sam. That's exactly it. She had a really hard upbringing, and that's why she says in life you have to fight for everything. But Tori's not trying to hurt anyone. Look at how Tori treated Aisha. While so many other people treated, like the rich girls treated Aisha like she was nothing special. They looked at her as like an overweight girl that they didn't want to be friends with, even though she was also a rich girl. 51 people watching. Oh my God, 51 people, guys. Shout out to everyone in the chat. Guys, where are you in the Get 1MK says get 100 viewers. I would love to get 100 viewers. But yeah, guys, Jose says gotta remember Tori had a way tougher upbringing than rich girl Sam. Yeah, and guess what? Tori is really pretty. She is very pretty. And to act like she's not pretty, because I feel like people in the series try to act like Sam is so much prettier than Tori. Tori's pretty. Tori's a beautiful girl. But because she's poor, because she's not wealthy, it feels like they like, everyone tries to act like she has a lower social status than Sam, which I think is absolute nonsense. John says, I see. Isaiah says, oh yeah. Let me read this right here. Kai says, one of the things that really makes me upset about Sam is her self-righteousness. One of her quotes was, everyone has a sob story, but that doesn't give you the right to be a bully when she has no room to say. Exactly. Like, she says something like that, and then she's acting like she's so virtuous, She is so self-righteous, and that's the same thing that she inherited from her father. I like us in the entire series. It honestly feels like the only person who ever holds her accountable is her mother. Like after she got into that whole school fight, Daniel didn't let her drive her car to school. Like, I'm so sad. And even Amanda, she takes away Sam's phone, to like punish her a little bit, like for 5 minutes. You've got to be kidding me. And yeah, taking away a teenager's phone is hard, but come on. After a hit and run and lying, Jack the Wolf says, it's sad that not only is Tori hotter and stronger and had better morals than Sam, and yet Sam has more money and resources to better herself. It's exactly that. 57 people are watching. What the heck is going on? You're absolutely right. Despite everything that Sam had, nothing has made a difference because that day 60 people are watching. Jeez, 60 viewers, awesome. Sam has more money and resources to better herself, and despite all of this, she continues to be this type of person. She continues to be the type of person that, is self-righteous, that gets into fights, that creates problems for others, but at the end of the day, never takes reason, never looks at themselves critically. And because she is so privileged, 63 people are watching. Because she is so privileged, it's like she can always just get away with everything and anything that she does. Guys, give me one moment. Give me a moment. Yeah, guys. I mean, it is absolutely, and it's frustrating to watch the way Samantha LaRussa behaves sometimes. Guys, I'm going to tell you something funny. I had some food on the grill. I literally burned my dinner. Just letting you guys know, I burned my dinner making this video. I burned my dinner. Yeah, but it's okay. Now, oh my gosh. One MK says now almost 100 and we will celebrate Cobra Kai season 3. Oh my goodness. Divine intervention. Okay, divine intervention says, remember when she said, Robbie, what did you do? She started the whole thing in the first place. I bet she won't get in trouble fighting at school. No, I don't think so either, because she's gonna say that she's the one who she had no part of it, man. She didn't even want to get into it. It was that other girl. It was the other girl, Tori, and this is exactly what Daniel's going to do. He's going to basically try to pull every string he possibly can, just like how he got like all of the rent raised on the entire strip mall just because he wanted to stop Cobra Kai from ever coming back, just to get at Johnny. Look at what he said. I'm going to get that girl kicked out. Like, his immediate thought is to go and destroy Tori's life, okay? Like, this is how he is. He uses his privilege, he uses his money to go after others, and then he basically portrays himself as always being the continuous and constant victim. And then you wonder why Sam is that way. I mean, even at the end of Cobra Kai season 2, when Sam is in the hospital, what does Daniel say? Sam says, it's all my fault. And what does he do? What does Daniel do? Instead of like, giving her a moment to reflect, he immediately tells her, no. Don't you say that, but don't you say that, baby girl. It was that other girl's fault. I'm going to get her kicked out. I'm going to get her thrown out. Don't you ever blame yourself for anything, all right? Like, what the heck? Like, seriously, don't you even think about the role that your daughter played in all of this? And you're going to basically go around and act like she's the innocent? Come on. All right? King says, Sam is not a good girlfriend. She was flirting with Robbie when Sam and Miguel were dating, all right? Even also, she was flirting right in Miguel's face. She acts like she is the hero. She does. She was literally flirting in his face, acting like it's nothing. Like, she brings this guy Robbie to the party that's living at the house and acts like it's nothing. You've got to be kidding me. Richard says, who else thinks that Tori has way more courage? I'm just going to change the word. Courage and bravery than the guys in Cobra Kai. She absolutely does. Like, she absolutely does. She has a lot of bravery, and you know what, I want to say, like, Aisha also was so brave, because she was among the very first to like step up and say, you know what, I'm going to join Cobra Kai. I'm going to try to improve myself. And that's what's been so awesome about Cobra Kai, is it shows that people, regular people, no matter what you look like, you know, Eli becoming Hawk, and others standing up for themselves. Unfortunately, I will say that Cobra Kai does portray many of the characters as acting like bullies, but you have to remember that it feels like a lot of these kids were once kids who were also bullied themselves. And it's about finding balance. And the thing is, like, Johnny never told these people Johnny didn't tell any of these kids to go out and start fights or to vandalize anything. But when you have kids that were bullied, or that feel that, like, you know, that they were being harassed by others, and they get a little bit of power, you know, if you don't have with great power comes great responsibility. Not to rip off Uncle Ben from Spider-Man, but it's true. And it's something, and it's a lesson that unfortunately Daniel did not teach to Robbie, and he never really taught it to Sam. He's taught her at the absolute opposite. It's no wonder when you think about how Daniel raised Sam and all the things that she's done, acting self-righteous, but at the same time never taking accountability for anything. It's no surprise when you think about that and you factor those things in, that Robbie ultimately ended up doing what he did to Miguel, because he never thought about it. He was just basically trying to finish the fight, whatever means necessary. And he didn't think about the consequences that would come afterwards. Like, he could have thought about it before the kick that caused Miguel to go over the rail, but he didn't, because he wasn't thinking about the consequences. And sadly, that's something that Daniel did not teach. All right? He did not teach him about consequences. Let me see here, right here. All right, guys. So Brendan Cross says, I think Terry Silver is Tori's father. Her name is Terry Nichols. That sounds close. And in the trailer, Tori isn't in jail. Terry was rich. He bailed her out. Also, Daniel might bring Johnny to Okinawa. So that's something that's very interesting. The fact that Tori did not go to jail, although it looks like she was like someone said that it looks like she was breaking out of jail in one of the things, but no, I don't know about that. She was like wearing makeup, so it looks like she was going into like a fighting ring or something. I don't know what happened with Tori. I don't know why she didn't get arrested, but maybe it's privilege. I don't know, because she definitely was the one who started that fight, and she definitely was wrong for using the bracelet the way she did. King says Sam is not maybe she ends up getting expelled. I don't know. Expelled or like really are expelled, or a crazy suspension. King says Sam is not a good girlfriend. She was flirting with Robbie when Sam and Miguel were dating, and even so flirting right in front of Miguel. Yeah, I read that comment already. But yeah, I agree. I agree entirely. I think you guys really enjoy this format where I read your comments and allow you guys to have a voice in the podcast, because like I really, I'm doing this for you guys, and without you guys, I don't have a channel. It's because of you guys. I will tell you something, for the last couple of years on YouTube, it was so hard, because I was a part of a community where we basically had this philosophy of kind of like no mercy, but it was a very toxic community where we could not explore different concepts. We could not, be civil and talk reasonably and respectfully amongst each other. So even though there are people like that in the Cobra Kai community, I still feel that there's a lot of people here who are very mindful, and ultimately the people who are like pushing for Cobra Kai, that support Cobra Kai, are really people that support responsibility and reason. And of course, there are always going to be, I hate to call them bad apples, but at the same time, you have to realize, like, if you do something in life, what you give in life, it comes back to you in one way or another. Quiet Lightning says she really needs to be forced out of her comfort zone. Let me see here. Oh gosh, Divine Invention says, I can't wait for my boy Hawk to win All Valley under Sensei Kreese. He is my favorite character. He'll make Hawk a beast. I really feel that as well. I think that's another topic for another video, but I really think that Kreese is going to make Hawk so strong. I really do, and I'm hoping in it. Oi Matt says, Chosen was seen in the trailer. Yes, he was. And we can only imagine what we'll see from that. I really wonder what's going to be like when Daniel goes to Okinawa. I'm looking forward to that. King says, I think that Eli had the best transformation in Cobra Kai. I honestly believe that as well. I think that he did. I think Miguel had the most balanced transformation. I think Hawk had the most like unbelievable transformation. Like he literally went from this guy who was getting bullied to this guy who was just like a beast. Like he had the most powerful transformation. King says, I think that, yeah, I agree. Like, I don't know if I'd say, when you say the best, it depends on what you define as the best. Maybe that's a poll question. Like, who do you think had the best Cobra Kai transformation? Hawk, Miguel, Aisha, Tori. Tori was already like, like a bad girl. Like she already had that bad girl persona before she joined Cobra Kai. So to say that Cobra Kai made her tougher, I wouldn't even go that far. She brought that attitude, but when she entered the dojo, she was already tough. Jorge says, in the video game for his neutral special, Kreese wields. I didn't know that. I did not know that. Let me see what you say here. So Brendan says, remember, Johnny said that there is a difference between mercy and honor, and he paid the price. But if you do show mercy, you also pay. So they need to find balance. You're right. Brendan, you're so right. You're so right. And I didn't think about that. There's a difference between mercy and honor. All right. There's a difference between mercy and honor. Okay. And like, it's one thing, like there's one thing to honor your opponent, and it's another thing to show mercy, because mercy is basically like saying, okay, I'm going to let you go. And no, you started it, you finish it. And then after you finish it, then you operate on your own terms. Let me see here. Quiet Lightning says no integrity. Orion says Terry Silver. Everyone's like rooting for Terry Silver. And it's funny because like while Karate Kid, was it 3, was like, maybe not the most popular of the Karate Kid films, it's like there's still so many fans. Like the one that Terry Silver was in, there's still so many fans. Zara says, I think it's beyond time for a proper Daniel / Miguel interaction. I agree as well. I absolutely agree that it's beyond time for these two characters to really sit down and talk. John says, Eli went from don't bully me to Hawk. I bully you now. Like, I mean, I don't see Hawk as a bully though. Like, think about this. Hawk is not going around bullying people. He's not bullying Dimitri. It's Dimitri that's bullying Hawk, trying to get Hawk to like fall back into accept that he's not strong, he's not powerful, he's not the kind of guy that could date someone like Moon. He's someone like Dimitri that, hides in the corner and that sits at the side of the cafe. And the truth of the matter is everyone is afraid. Everyone is worried. Everyone is like constantly dealing with their own insecurities. It's about rising up from your insecurities and being the best version of yourself and being you in spite of your insecurities. What Dimitri is someone who is content in his own reality of misery and grief, and he wants others to continue to remain in that reality. Sure, maybe someone like Dimitri goes on to start some Fortune 500 company. Who knows? But at the end of the day, maybe he doesn't. Like people like Dimitri, how do you end up liking someone like this? Because, someone that doesn't really like others. Dimitri just goes around criticizing everyone. Think about this. Like, have you ever wondered why Dimitri doesn't have a lot of friends? Why people don't want to be around someone like him? Let's talk about that very carefully. Well, why wouldn't someone want to be around Dimitri? Well, let's see. He always acts like he's a victim. All right. He's always criticizing. Even his closest friends, even Hawk. He doesn't bring them up. He brings them down. And he tries to keep people in his own reality of misery. Dimitri's not a good guy. He's not a good guy, all right? Kyler is actually returning. So this is, Oi says, imagine Kyler joins Cobra Kai. So I've actually heard that Kyler is going to be making a return in season 3. And this is interesting because what if Kyler joins Cobra Kai? That's an interesting topic. Like, what if Kyler joins Cobra Kai in season 3 with Miguel being out of action? That could really change the dynamics. Like, can you imagine Kyler, Miguel, Hawk, like all of these characters in Cobra Kai? Can you even, and then guys, can you also think about this? Like, imagine if Robbie gets out of jail and then goes on to also I mean, I don't think he's going to join the Cobra Kai dojo, but he like, imagine if he's like, you know what, I'm not going back to Miyagi though, because like, look at what happened, look at how Daniel treated me, look at everything, I mean, it's like, this is like, it's going to take a lot for Daniel to heal. For Robbie to heal from a lot of this. because he's been betrayed so many times in his life. Like, for his entire life, he probably always thought that he would probably end up in jail anyway. So he didn't really care about the life he lived. He didn't really care about what he did in life because, heck, he's going to suffer anyway at some point, right? He's going to go to jail at some point anyway, so it didn't matter. And he tried to change. He just what he really needed was a good father figure. And when you look at the household he grew up in with his mother, who was basically bringing different guys in at all different times. I mean, for example, he comes home and like his mother's bringing some random guy in to the bedroom, and guys, imagine how damaging that is to a child. Not even just a boy, but just a child in general, where your mother is doing these things and you're watching her, or she takes off and she just leaves you for weeks or months to go on some trip with some guy and doesn't even leave you enough money for food, or the electricity is getting shut off. Like, she was a terrible mother. She was a terrible mother. And, you can say, well, it's, Johnny has a role in it as well for being in a relationship with her, but we don't know what Johnny went through when it came to being in a relationship with her, because as you can see, she's a person that seems to have very high standards. She wants someone with lots of money. She wants someone who can give her lots of excitement. And she obviously had a problem with addiction. And now she left to go and be in an addiction center. And here's something interesting about this as well. When Daniel basically said that he didn't want Robbie coming back to the house, or didn't bring him back with him, that was messed up, because she left Robbie in the care of Daniel. So Robbie's a minor, and she left Robbie in the care of Daniel, and then he basically throws him out like a piece, like nothing, and says, okay, go be with your father. But the thing is that Johnny didn't even have a place for Robbie set up, Like think about it carefully. Like, Daniel took him in, Daniel agreed to take care of him, and then he throws him out. Like who does something like that? Is that even legal? Like, you have to ask the question, is that even legal? Like, Daniel should be held accountable by the law, because Robbie was left in the care of Daniel. He is a minor, all right? Or at least, again, he was, as far as I'm concerned, I think he's still a minor. I don't think he was 18 at the end of the series, at the end of season 2. He was left in the care of Daniel, and Daniel did that. I mean, you can't do that to a kid. You don't. It's unbelievable. It shows how little integrity Daniel absolutely has, and how little he really thought of Robbie, because everyone in his life, his mother Robbie's mother, she abandoned him for men. Robbie's father, he was, I'm not saying Johnny, I don't want to say Johnny abandoned him, but Johnny basically felt as though he failed, I think. All right. And I don't know every detail of their relationship, but Robbie felt abandoned. I mean, his mother abandoned him. His father wasn't there for him for whatever reasons. All right. But still, his father wasn't there for him. The only friends that he had were thieves that made him feel something like, and he basically felt like the kind of life he was living, he basically felt like he was headed to jail anyway, because I would think, right? So why would you even try to change? Why would you even try to be a better version of yourself if your destination is just going to be jail in the end? And he really did try to change when it came to Daniel. He looked at Daniel as a father figure. And let me tell you guys something about Kreese. For those of you that say that Kreese is such a bad guy, let me ask you this. I don't see Kreese going out there and committing any serious acts of violence. I don't see Kreese getting arrested by the cops. I don't see Kreese getting thrown in jail. I'm just being honest. I don't see any of Kreese's students getting thrown in jail, all right? All right? I'm just being honest. When Johnny was under Kreese's direction, Kreese told Johnny, don't go out there and mess with Daniel. Do you hear me? All right? So you cannot tell me that Kreese is such a villain when Kreese was always trying to handle things with respect, regardless. All right? And keeping Johnny in line, making sure that he wasn't out there committing acts of arson and violence. Okay? That is something that Kreese actually did. So you cannot tell me that you really believe that if Robbie had been under the direction of Kreese, that he would have been out there doing the things he was doing now. Kreese is an American hero. Say what you want, but Kreese stood up for the country. Kreese actually fought to protect us and protect our rights, even though it's a movie. Okay? And I mean, think about him as a character. So if Robbie had been under the direction of Kreese, I don't think if Robbie had Kreese as a father figure, let me tell you something. He needed someone like Kreese as a father figure that would get him in line, that would let him know that, you know what? I'm bigger than you. I'm stronger than you. You're not bright. You don't know what you're doing. You need discipline, all right? That doesn't mean that you allow others to hurt you. You have strength. You have the power to defend yourself. You have the power to do right in this world, and you also have the power to do wrong in this world, all right? I'm telling you, like, I'm telling you, you know. So I don't believe one bit that if Robbie had been under the direction of Kreese, if Robbie had Kreese as a master, as a sensei, as someone to guide him, I do not believe for one bit that Robbie would have fallen into the acts. I really believe that he would have performed and he would have changed a ton more. I don't know, guys. Like, some people really, like, they don't want to see things from different aspects. And the truth is that Cobra Kai is a series about perspectives, about looking at things from different perspectives. And people need to open up their minds a bit more and stop looking at everything as black and white. Do I think Daniel is the ultimate bad guy, the worst person in the world? No. But I see the actions, his philosophy on his life, his self-righteousness, and his ability to ever take responsibility and constantly seeing himself as the victim of every situation. When you look at that and you look at how Sam is, you can't be surprised. You cannot be surprised. And the funny thing is that it's like Daniel doesn't know that Sam's going around with all these different guys. No, Sam, he doesn't care. He doesn't want to know. Just like he said when, you know, when Amanda, I think Amanda said, like, you know, they've been living together. Robbie and Sam have been living together. So you don't think that something could be going on? And Daniel immediately says, I don't want to think about that right now. I mean, plausible. He immediately denies it. He's like, okay, yeah, I'm just going to act like it isn't happening. That's the kind of guy that he is, you know? When you have to confront real issues, you basically act like they don't exist. King says that Sam is one of the worst characters in Cobra Kai. She is just so annoying and thinks that everything she does is right. She's so spoiled and thinks that everything is fixed with money and flirting. It's true. It's true. All right? Like, seriously, would you guys really want to have Sam as a friend? Orion says Sam should lose at least one fight. She's like Daniel, always gets beaten up through the entire fight and just strikes in the end by a cheap shot. Hey, Daniel is more suited for Cobra Kai. Oh my gosh. All Valley tournament. Okay, Brandon says All Valley tournament over 18. Johnny versus Daniel, and Crane kicks Daniel in the head and wins. Like, I mean, guys, could you imagine that? Like, guys, could you imagine all absolutely wrong. If Johnny ever did what Daniel had done, everyone would say that he was the villain. But because of Hollywood, like, oh, look at Daniel, he did it. You gotta be kidding me. Gotta be kidding me. Edith Smith says, I think Kreese would have helped him keep his feet on the ground, not put the pie in the sky on his mind. Robbie needed someone to show him reality. Daniel's life is not for somebody like Robbie. Exactly. Daniel lives in a complete delusional world. I mean, think about this. He's a car salesman. So people come into the dealership, maybe not even having a lot of money, and then he convinces people to buy a car that they really may not even be able to afford. You know? Because what he's selling are dreams. He's selling a reality. He's selling different realities. And now he lives in his own reality, that, you know, his own false reality. Because not everything in his reality is fake, but he basically wants everyone to see the reality he lives in, and he wants to pull them into his reality. And he can't see reality for others. You know, like how others are suffering or dealing with issues. He can never see himself as being in the wrong. I cannot think of any time when Daniel really actually said I was in the wrong, except for when, like, I don't know if he was talking to Sam or Robbie, and basically saying, like, they were saying Cobra Kai is so bad, and he goes, not all Cobra Kai are bad because I was once Cobra Kai. You gotta be kidding me. Quiet says she better hope Miguel makes it through rehabilitation properly. It really is her only hope. Yeah. If you're talking about Sam, Let me see here. Richard says, who else thought it was heartbreaking when Daniel yelled at Mr. Miyagi in the Karate Kid Part 3? That's when I really didn't like him. It's hard. And Orion says that it's, some, like he said, he's basically talking about people passing away in season 3. There's a lot right now. Netflix is suggesting that someone's going to pass away, or groups or different people are going to pass away in season 3. And while we're thinking it could be Miguel, it could also be Robbie. It could be Robbie. All right. Jack says Sam deserved what she received from Tori because she said Tori doesn't belong at the beach club. She also assaulted Tori and didn't get punished for it, and also kissed her Miguel when dating Robbie. Yeah, she doesn't, and she nothing. Oh my gosh. Edith says, if I were Carmen, I would literally be really upset with Sam and Tori. And I agree with that. I absolutely agree with that. The J says, well, know that I think about there are at least several other dojos out there, and they have competed with Cobra Kai as shown in the movies. That's true. And it'll be, guys, what would be really cool is if they brought in more dojos and like there was like an entire like rivalry, like dojo breakdown. That would be so cool. Quiet Lightning says, Daniel humming that Hawaiian nonsense. Ouch. Sarai says, so there could be newer antagonists in the future. I agree. I think I might make that into another video, like, future dojos, like imagine like a dojo war. That would be so cool. Orion says, I have no problem with Robbie passing away. He always was a thorn in the side of Miguel's story from the very beginning. Wow. Gaming with Jared says, Sam kissed Miguel in front of Tori. She is mad because she did. She really is not a good person. Bra, you're good says, I really don't like Sam. She only dated Robbie because she knew he had beef with Miguel and saw that opportunity and went on his side. And also she started to fight because she kissed Miguel at a party. I don't know if it was entirely that she dated him entirely because of that, but I definitely feel like she likes to jump from one guy to another. And I agree with other points that you made, like, about her kissing him at the party. In the end, it's like there's so many different perspectives, but I think many of us can agree that Sam just is not in the right. Psycat says, if I ever saw Sam put their hands on my girl like Tori, I would not have not tolerated it. I mean, like, it's like, seriously. Richard says, Sam brought out the worst in Tori. She awoken the beast in her because of her actions, and she needed to learn a lesson when Tori fought back. Orion says, Danny Boy. Zai J says, Terry Silver. Orion, Terry Silver. You guys really want Terry Silver back in the picture? Let me read this one from Sarai. Sarai says, what if Mike Barnes trains Sam in the future as a way to get back at Daniel, kind of like Terry did with him in Karate Kid 3? Edith says, no, I don't want Robbie gone, but I do want both of them to dump Sam publicly. She needs an ego beatdown. They really both need to dump her. They really both need to say, like, I'm done. Like, Sam and Robbie, it's not like Miguel and Sam both need to, like, just completely move on from her. Like, she needs, like, her, like people need to, like, just say, enough of Sam. Like, I'm done with that. Like, the friends, like, all of them, they need to basically call it. Fabio Kramer says, the kiss that caused another civil war. Footy says, I really, really don't like Robbie. And ZJ says, maybe Terry Silver can come back. I just hear rumors. Yeah, I everyone's just waiting so hard for Terry Silver to come back. I know. I gotta go watch these other parts. Let me see if they're on Netflix. Maybe I might watch it tonight. But yeah, guys, I mean, you guys can see you guys really enjoyed this podcast. Oh my gosh. Gaming says Robbie is the worst. And Gaming also says, I don't like Tori. She is bullying Sam because she kicked Sam out of the skater park. Again, that happened after Sam basically tried to snatch her purse and she was standing up for herself. I don't justify it. She was wrong for doing that. But look at what Sam did. Sam then goes and like drop kicks Tori as revenge. I mean, like, seriously, Sam doesn't know when just to walk away. Just like her father, she's always trying to one up and get the last laugh, get the last hit in. Quiet Lightning says, a thankless role for poor Mary. But you know what? You have to give Mary Mauser credit for taking the role on and for bringing so much life to it. Because I think Mary has a big heart, and I think that we should all be very respectful and grateful to Mary for the hard work that she's done in bringing Samantha LaRusso to the big screen and to portraying this character. Like, I mean, even Ralph Macchio. I'm grateful to Ralph Macchio for his hard work, for his hard work portraying Daniel LaRusso, because it's because of these characters why we can see these different perspectives. And the fact that they put so much work, even the guy who plays Dimitri, they put so much of themselves into these characters, making them believable. So we have to be grateful for that. We should really be thankful for the hard work. So we have to remember, I've said this in another podcast, that even while we're frustrated with like some of the characters, we have to remember that the actors themselves are not bad. If anything, the actors have gone above and beyond. Kreese, for example, Martin Kove. I like Kreese. I'm not gonna lie. I like Kreese. I just like him. I like the guy. All right. I like the character Kreese, and I also like Martin Kove. And I think Martin Kove is a pretty cool guy. And I'm gonna be honest, despite how people like talk about Kreese as the villain, I like Kreese. I like Sensei Kreese. Like, who wouldn't want to train with Kreese? Guys, who wouldn't want to be like Kreese? Like Mr. Boombastic, like, they remember that song like back in the old days, Mr. Boombastic, semi-fan. Like, Kreese has this whole feeling like he walks around tough. He's like, he's a man's man. You have to give him credit. You have to give him credit. Bro, you're good says, and Sam is such a bully. How is she even Aisha's friend? She didn't protect her when Aisha needed her the most. It's true. It's true. Oh my gosh. Quiet says Marty Cole for president. 100% agree. Sadaiki says, I love your videos. Thank you so much, Sadaiki. Footy says Sam is a really bad person because she kissed Miguel. Everyone has their opinions, and I'm glad that so many people can see this and see what we're talking about. Oh my gosh. So Rai says Sam could have a new rival this season. She absolutely could. Although I feel like they're focusing on Tori being Sam's rival. Mustang says people ship Tanner Buchanan and Mary Mauser. I've seen comments in her videos in which people ask her, can she and Tanner get together? It's so funny because they seem like they really do like each other. They're always hanging out, making videos. And it does seem like they're really good friends. So, like, I could definitely see them being in a relationship in real life. And I think they look good together. They go shopping and, like they're so cool together. I definitely like them in real life together. Aurelie says, if you think about it, Sam did cause all the issues between Johnny and Daniel because they wouldn't have run into each other to fix Johnny's car. By the way, still a good character, though. Oh, my gosh. And Jack says she was only with Miguel in the first place because Miguel basically did her dirty work for her. Exactly, in the cafeteria. The episode that Miguel beat Kyler. It's true. He did her dirty work for her. Like, she's acting like Kyler was actually going to, like, fight with her. Like she's the one who slapped his tray and then, like, tries to act like he's going to escalate. When in reality, Kyler's like, I'm not going to do anything. Even then, Kyler knew, like, sometimes you need to walk away. Richard says, if Sam was a good person, she would have apologized to Tori instead of obsessing over getting revenge. Absolutely correct. Absolutely correct. Sadaya says, season 3, Tori and Robbie. And then for you guys that didn't see this already, this is the poll that we had put up, and we basically had asked, like, is Sam really the villain? And this was the breakdown, because we have a lot of people who, like, came into the video later on, and they probably didn't get to see the poll. So for those of you that didn't see the poll earlier in the video, this is the poll. And basically 55% of people who voted in this poll, 3.2 thousand votes, 55% of people who voted in this poll said Sam is the villain. 3% said Sam really said that Sam is a hero. And 30% said Sam is neither a villain nor a hero, while 9% said, honestly, I don't care. I just want to watch the series in peace. And guys, these things always end up happening where you have like a breakdown where people are like, oh, Markle says it's my birthday. Happy birthday, Markle. Guys, Markle Swit, wish Markle a happy birthday in the chat, please. But happy birthday, man, or woman. Happy birthday. Bra says, I think that Sensei Kreese will be one of the best characters in season 3. I would love to get trained by Sensei Kreese. He is just a badass person. I mean, it's true. And you know what, guys? The thing is, like, it's about learning and balance. Just because you learn a lesson from someone doesn't mean you have to take everything they say. You take the best parts and then you do the best you can with those parts. So you don't have to take everything from Kreese literal, but there's a lot that you can learn from him. And one of the good things you can learn from him is self-respect, discipline, and standing up for yourself and persevering even in the face of overwhelming odds. The way that he persevered in the face of overwhelming odds when he was like overseas and when he was fighting for the country and when he was working, and even in his own life, being homeless at this point in his life, as he's gotten older and he's like homeless at this point, and he's still trying to fight on. He's still trying to keep going. He said Cobra Kai. He said to Johnny, Cobra Kai was mine. It always has been. It always will be. And you can't say he's wrong. He started Cobra Kai. He's the founder. As far as I know, he's the original founder of Cobra Kai, as far as I know. And he's right. Cobra Kai was his dojo. So when Johnny brought it back, sure, Johnny brought it back, but Cobra Kai was always Kreese's, and it always will be, because that was the root of it. You can try to change it, you can try to evolve it, but the core of the heart of Cobra Kai has always been no mercy. No mercy does not mean no honor, and that's the unfortunate part that someone pointed out earlier. No mercy does not mean no honor, but at the same time, you have to know that there are times in life when you have to just say no. You have to say no, and you have to stick to your beliefs. There's this one person in the chat called Footy that's spamming. Got rid of them. Yeah, guys, I don't know. It's so funny when people like come on and they're like start spamming for no reason because they want to disrupt the argument. They want to disrupt the conversation. Brendan Cross says Mr. Miyagi went to Okinawa and found his lover. She didn't get married, but had a son. Plot twist. Oh, think about that. That is true. Okay. And I need to watch the whole thing over. Bra says, I think that Johnny is starting to act with mercy, which sucks as his character. I remember him in season 1 where he had no mercy, but now it's just like he's acting like a scaredy cat. He's definitely changed. Like, it's funny because he was totally like, even when he was suffering, he was still like Johnny Lawrence. And then like after he started like taking on this notion of being merciful, even when Daniel wasn't showing mercy, he started trying to be a better version of himself and trying to be more kind and more accepting and showing more mercy to others. And when that happened, he started to lose a part of himself. I think that like, he tried to let his guard down a bit. And as a result of that, it ended up resulting in what happened to Miguel. Arai says, I'm so disappointed in Stingray for agreeing with Kreese. I don't know. I can't say I'm disappointed because think about this. Stingray, I forget if Stingray was there training at the end of season 2 with Kreese, but if he did agree with Kreese, I can't say he's wrong. I feel like, think about what he witnessed. He was close to Hawk, he was close to Miguel, and he was there. And like, he cares about Johnny, but at the same time, like, his family, someone in his family just literally got decimated, it's like no mercy. That's a part of the slogan of Cobra Kai. It's their slogan, no mercy. So, right, if Johnny wants Cobra Kai with no mercy, then he needs to form a new dojo like Miyagi Kai or something like that, or Cobra, with Daniel, but, or his own place. But like this whole thing, but Cobra Kai, the philosophy has always been no mercy. And Johnny tried to make it into something else, and that's what happened. There's a difference between honor and mercy. And Johnny was trying to be the good guy to some degree, I think. Because Daniel got him into this whole mindset where he was the villain. Daniel and Johnny tried to be the good guy, and that's the price he paid for it. Brandon says, my friend's dad is starting a karate called Gopher Kai. I love that. Bra says, I think that Tori will be such a hero and Tori and Miguel will be back together, which I hope that happens in season 3. I hope so too. But at the same time, I don't even know. I think season 3 might be a season where Miguel is just learning to walk again. But then, or it might start off showing us like the end of season 2 where Robbie gets arrested and everything, and then there's like a time jump because they've been talking about maybe a time jump in season 3. So like we may be looking at a big time jump, or like at least some time. So it might start off at the beginning and then jump like a couple of months or even a couple of years later. I'm not sure, but we'll see how that turns out. This is what I agree with. Sadaiki says Miguel's back injury is what will push Hawk over the edge. I think that clip in the dojo from the trailer is him fighting Robbie, and it's you might be true. So which could also suggest that maybe Robbie goes to Cobra Kai. And here's something. Psycat says, I know Robbie kicked him off the rail also because when Miguel said, she doesn't love you, she loves me, that's when Robbie started getting in. And it's true. Like we can all say, like, can we actually argue that Robbie did not choose deliberately to send Daniel to send him over the rail? Like literally, like, I mean, what were you thinking? Why would you do, like, why? Robbie was angry, he was infuriated, and all he could think about was Sam. Arali says, I love the fact that the producers or writers made Amanda the most logical character ever in the show. It's DDS, so much humor. She's like, I've heard people say that's Amanda LaRusso, the only good LaRusso. Let me see here. Brendan says, if Credence is living in a homeless house, how can he pay double rent at Cobra Kai? So Terry Silver said he would open up a studio where he needs a win after they lost. Bra says, I would really hope that Hawk defeats Robbie. And if he didn't, no, Robbie was touched. Okay. Sai says, and I know Robbie gets the raging temper from Johnny because Johnny could be hot-headed sometimes. That's absolutely true. Quiet Lightning says Robbie is a victim of circumstance. I agree, but at the same time, you have to be reasonable and realize that Robbie was also involved in this, and Robbie has a role to play. Ian says Sam is deaf a villain. She is a tornado of a moral high ground complex mixed in with a victim complex. Exactly, agreed. What she does causes her circumstances, but it's others' fault. Exactly. Guys, let me know what you guys think in the comments. If you are if you think that Sam is really a villain, or if she's really a hero, or if she's neither a villain nor a hero, or if you honestly don't care and you just want to watch the series in peace. Let me know what you think. Help get this video to 100 likes if you enjoyed this video and want me to keep on doing more podcasts like this. And, guys, please like, share, and subscribe. Turn on notifications and never miss another Cobra Kai video again or a podcast like this again, because I'm seeing that you guys love these podcast formats. Share this video on social media, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and other social media platforms, so more Cobra Kai fans, new and old, as well as Karate Kid fans, can find these videos. And Mustang says, do you think Robbie is going to become the alpha in jail in season 3? I've been thinking about that, and I don't know about that. That's like another question, like how will Robbie handle jail? I think that's something I'll ask in the next video. But there's a saying, always leave them wanting more. Got 52 of you guys watching, so I'm gonna say thank you for watching. Cobra Kai never dies, and we will catch you guys in the next one. Peace.